What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Apologies if I sound a little weird, battling through a cold, but whatever. Jalen Green and Evan Mobley, that's the question for the Houston Rockets at number 2. The draft is quickly approaching, and it's a big debate on who should go number 2. Obviously, we know Cade Cunningham is going to be the number 1 pick. It looks like Detroit's going to keep the pick, and that's who they will be selecting. So it comes down to the Houston Rockets and who do they want. And I think the whole draft is going to be kind of based on who they select, because, then it affects, obviously, Cleveland and, everyone kind of moving down from there. So the big, debate is Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, who's better, who's a better fit for the Rockets, who's the better player long term, all those questions. So with that being said, let's get into the video. So who should the Houston Rockets take at the number 2 overall pick? Well, that's a really good question. I think that in a sense, the Houston Rockets really can't go wrong, because I think that both prospects will be really good. I've been listening to, a ton of podcasts, trying to pick up as much, information about this draft as I can. People like, Jonathan Gavoni have said that, the 3 prospects, top 3 prospects, all could be capable of being number 1 overall prospects. And so at the number 2 spot, obviously, you're going to get a player who has, number 1, overall type potential. And so when you look at the 2 prospects in Jalen Green and Evan Mobley, obviously you got to weigh the pros and the cons with them, how they fit your team, how the league is moving forward, things of that nature. Starting with someone like Jalen Green, I think that he fits today's basketball really well, in the sense that he can, fill it up in terms of scoring. He's a super athletic guard. We all know his athleticism. Would step in and be one of, the top athletes in the NBA, the moment he steps foot on the floor. But he's more than just, an athletic guard. He can score the ball. He's got a really elite skill set for someone at the 2 guard position, in terms of, he can handle the ball. He can shoot it. He's a streaky shooter at the moment. I think that's something that's going to get better over time. He had good shooting splits in the bubble. Like I said, they were just in the G League bubble, that is. They were just, a little streaky. He had a couple, I think, 0 for 6s, 0 for 8, something like that. And he balanced it out with like a 6 for 8, 6 for 6, something like that. He balanced out his shooting splits. They were streaky. But, loves the mid-range area. Like I said, can handle the ball, can, make some basic reads of a pick and roll, things of that nature. The thing for me with Jalen Green that, is going to be a question mark for him is, how is he going to develop his game past scoring the ball? He's not a great defender at the moment. He's shown potential on that end of the floor. He's got decent size at 6'5", but he's going to have to put on some weight. And then offensively, is he going to be the type of guard who can be a playmaker and, make his teammates better and contribute to winning? Because right now, I think you could compare him to someone like Zach LaVine, a super athletic guard who's a streaky shooter, one of the best scorers in the league when he's on. But, Zach LaVine's never played in a playoff game. He's got, Bradley Beal type scoring ability. Bradley Beal has never made, a deep playoff run. And so he's got, those type of characteristics. What's he going to do to separate himself from players like that and make himself really a winning player? I think that's the question mark with Jalen Green. But I don't think there's really any question with Jalen in terms of, can he play in the league? Because I think he definitely can, and I think he can definitely score the ball at a high level in the league. Then you look at someone like Mobley, and he's an athletic center who really fits today's NBA really well. We saw it throughout the playoffs, and how valuable it is to have a center who is versatile on both ends of the floor. Obviously, on the defensive side of the ball, Mobley needs to put on some weight, but he can protect the rim. He's someone who can, get out on the perimeter and at least hold his own. I think that's something that would separate him from someone like, Rudy Gobert, who we saw get exposed in the playoffs. And we saw how valuable it was to have someone like, at least an Ayton or, Giannis, playing the 5, whatever it is, someone who can get out on the perimeter and they're not going to, get totally exposed by small ball 5s. They can, at least move their feet. They can, get out on the perimeter and make things at least challenging for some of those smaller 5s and not, get played off the court. On the offensive side of the ball, he's got the modern day skill set. His jump shot looks smooth. Obviously, percentages will have to get better, and he'll continue to develop that over time. But he's also a center who has, soft touch. Like I said, athletic, could be a lob threat type player, worst case scenario, but he also has a great feel for the game. He can pass the ball, would come in, I think, be one of the better, passing centers the moment he steps foot into the NBA. Like I said, great feel, great touch around the rim, and just has, the modern day package you want out of a center in terms of athlete, feel for the game, jump shot potential, creation or playmaking ability. Can handle the ball a little bit for a center. I don't think he's the type to be like a Giannis where he's, bringing it up in transition, every time he gets a rebound. But, like I said, has some ability to handle the ball. And so really the big thing for me with Mobley is versatility and fit into today's NBA. We've seen how valuable that is on both ends of the floor. And I think that, he's got such a high ceiling that it's almost hard to pass on someone like that. So Houston definitely has, options at the number 2 pick. And right now it sounds like they're going to be picking Jalen Green, which is definitely a good look for him. I think, he's a good fit for him. He'd have the ball in his hands a lot. I think he'd have a lot of opportunity to, make, mistakes early in his career and become, a better playmaker that he needs to be. Develop, whatever that he needs to develop. The ball is going to be in his hands, and I think he'd have plenty of opportunity there in Houston. I also really wouldn't mind seeing them pick Evan, because I've made videos on him in the past, and people have pointed out that, Houston has Hakeem Olajuwon, and Evan can work with him, and I think that could be, a really scary situation if Evan, got to work with one of the best centers ever, maybe the best center ever, in terms of footwork, in post play. And if they could really develop that side of Evan, that could be really scary. And so I think Evan would be a great fit there. Another situation that I've seen is that, Houston could potentially draft Evan because Cleveland really likes Evan, and he'd fit perfect with their roster and their young core. And then they could do a trade down the line, whether it's, swapping, Evan Mobley and Jalen Green then for each other and getting an extra pick out of it. However that would work. So Houston definitely has options. Like I said, right now it sounds like they're going to draft Jalen Green, which I think, would be a good look for him. But also, like I said, that Evan Mobley, Hakeem Olajuwon, and just the potential of Evan, I think that's super hard to pass up. But either way, I don't think you can go wrong with either player. I think they both have bright futures. It's just about developing them and making sure, that they have the work ethic and they want to be great. But either way, it's an exciting time. I like both players. Favorite, day is coming up here in terms of the NBA. I love the draft, love things like that. But leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys later.